Distinguished guests, we are about to start our program within a few minutes. I request everyone to kindly be seated. Distinguished guests, we are about to start our program within a few minutes. I request everyone to kindly be seated. Distinguished guests, we are about to start our program within a few minutes. I request everyone to kindly be seated. Distinguished guests, we are about to start our program within a few minutes. I request everyone to kindly be seated. Distinguished guests, we are about to start our program within a few minutes. I request everyone to kindly be seated. Distinguished guests, we are about to start our program within a few minutes. I request everyone. Excellencies, distinguished faculty members, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Magandang umaga, Shubho Shakal. I am Saima Razaki, Counselor of Embassy of Bangladesh in Manila. On behalf of Bangladesh Embassy, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you all. Bangladesh Embassy in Manila, in collaboration with the Asian Center of the University of the Philippines, has organized this hybrid seminar today on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of establishing bilateral ties between Bangladesh and the Philippines. The theme of today's seminar is 50 years of diplomatic relations between Bangladesh and the Philippines, achievements, challenges, and potentials. We deeply appreciate for taking your time off your busy schedules to join us for today's seminar. We are honored to have amongst us Dean of Diplomatic Corps, Father Charles Brown, excellences and members of the Diplomatic Corps in the Philippines, dignitaries and friends from different organizations, faculty members from the University of the Philippines, friends from media, and members of Bangladesh community in the Philippines. We are honored to have amongst us as today's speaker, Honorable Fidel Nemenzo, Chancellor Diliman Campus, University of the Philippines, His Excellency F.M. Burhanuddin, Bangladesh Ambassador to the Philippines, Ms. Maria Ana Lilia De Vera Sinaji, Acting Head of the Office of Asian and Pacific Affairs, Department of Foreign Affairs, Manila. We are glad to mention that our today's keynote speech would be delivered by Ms. Dr. Henelito Sevilla, Jr., Dean, Asian Center, University of the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, to formally begin the program, we will now play the national anthem of Bangladesh, followed by the national anthem of the Philippines. May I now request you all to kindly stand up during the playing of the national anthems.
আমার সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি চিরদিন তোমার আকাশ চিরদিন তোমার আকাশ তোমার বাতাস আমার প্রাণে তোমার আমার প্রাণে nakikinig, lumalang araw ng walhati pagsikap, buhay langit sa piling ko. Ang ligaya ng pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you, everyone. Distinguished guest, may I now have the honor to play the welcome video message by Honorable Fidel Nemenzo, Chancellor Diliman Campus, University of the Philippines, to kindly for his welcome remarks.
Distinguished guests, excellencies and members of the Foreign Diplomatic Corps, the Honorable Deputy Secretary of the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs, Maria Ana Lilia de Vera Shinazi, the Honorable Muhammad Najmul Huda, Director General at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bangladesh, Bangladesh Ambassador to the Philippines, and a friend, His Excellency Borhan Udin. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to all of us. Today marks a red letter day in the history of both our countries as we mark the 50th anniversary of the Philippines-Bangladesh relations. Our friendship dates back in the early 1970s when, in 1972, the Philippines recognized Bangladesh, then just emerging from a war of liberation, as a sovereign nation, and when then head of state, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led the fight for and the founding of an independent Bangladesh, visited the Philippines the following year. This auspicious beginning has led to the formalization of diplomatic relations between our two countries since the 1980s. Throughout the years, the Philippines and Bangladesh have a common interest in promoting various social, economic, and security concerns in the region. As policy discussions highlight an Indo-Pacific perspective that seeks to improve connectivity between ASEAN and South Asia, we expect more interaction between our two countries. In this connection, I would like to commend the efforts of the Asian Center in organizing this commemoration with the Embassy of the People's Republic of Bangladesh in Manila. The UP Asian Center is the only unit in our university that promotes area studies on the different subregions of Asia, including South Asia. As such, we hope that the activity will serve to promote more interactions between our academic and cultural communities. Once again, on behalf of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, I would like to welcome all of you to this event. Good morning, magandang umaga sa lahat.
May I now have the honor to play the video message by His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, MP, Honorable Foreign Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm profoundly happy to convey the warmest greetings on behalf of the government and the people of Bangladesh, and on my own behalf, to the government and the friendly people of the Philippines on this auspicious hymn. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm profoundly happy to convey the warmest greetings on behalf of the government and the people of Bangladesh, and on my own behalf, to the government and the friendly people of the Philippines on this auspicious occasion of the Golden Jubilee of bilateral relations between Bangladesh and the Philippines. We recall with deep gratitude the magnanimity of the Philippines, who recognized Bangladesh as one of the first countries in Southeast Asia. We also fondly recall the stopover of father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, in Manila on his way back from Japan. to express gratitude for the brotherly gesture of the Philippines in 1973. I take the opportunity of this auspicious occasion to mention that Bangladesh has accomplished extraordinary progress in many areas over the last 50 years since our independence. The international community is highly cognizant of our achievements in different sectors, including poverty alleviation, women empowerment, inclusive socio-economic development, strengthening democratic institutions, contributions to regional and international peace building, graduating from LDC to a developing nation, rapidly transforming infrastructural growth, installing our own satellite in the space, etc. We have developed our relations with regional and international organizations, including the United Nations, Non-Aligned Movement, Organization of Islamic Conference, European Union, South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, Asian Cooperation Dialogue, Indian Ocean Rim Association, BIMSTEC, DA, Climate Vulnerable Forum, and ARF of ASEAN. Inspired by the core theme of foreign policy as enumerated by the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, friendship to all and malice towards none, the government of Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, his able daughter, has been working for establishing a culture of peace for the universal peace, stability, and progress. Let me keep on record that the Philippines has remained a good friend of Bangladesh since the establishment of diplomatic relations as early as 1972. We have developed cooperation with the Philippines in a number of areas of mutual interest. There are potential areas where we can initiate new collaboration and complement the economic developments for mutual benefit of our two friendly peoples. In the coming years, our collaboration should be enhanced in areas like agriculture, education, technology, trade and investment, digital economy, etc., etc. We should also increase our efforts to further strengthen our cooperation in regional and international forums. To conclude, I wish continued peace, progress, and happiness for the friendly people of the Philippines in the days ahead. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu, long live Bangladesh-Philippines friendship. Thank you.
May I now have the honor to play the video message by His Excellency Enrique Manalo, Honorable Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Government of the Republic of the Philippines.
On behalf of the Philippine government and the Filipino people, I express my heartfelt greetings to Bangladesh on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of our diplomatic relations. Allow me also to congratulate the organizers and speakers of this seminar, which will provide deeper understanding of the significance of Philippines-Bangladesh relations in the past half-century. I am proud to note that the Philippines was among the first countries to recognize the independence of Bangladesh, having given its steady and open support to Bangladesh's struggle for liberation and admission to the United Nations. Following the former establishment of diplomatic relations in 1972, President Ferdinand E. Marcos the father of our current president, invited the Prime Minister of Bangladesh and the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, or Sheikh Mujib, to visit the Philippines. In her message to then President Rodrigo Duterte on the Golden Jubilee anniversary in February 2022, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina recalled that Sheikh Mujib, on his return journey to Dhaka from Tokyo in 1973, stopped over in Manila to express his gratitude to the Philippine government and people for the magnanimous gesture of recognizing Bangladesh's independence. Indeed, it is on these meaningful and sincere acts between our nations and our leaders that our bilateral relations have been built. Through the years, the Philippines and Bangladesh have strengthened their ties through the signing of agreements in various areas of cooperation, including in trade and investments, culture, merchant shipping, and youth and sports, among others. Our relations continue to grow on the economic front. Trade between our countries steadily increased from approximately $48 million to $105 million in 2021, overcoming the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. I'm also pleased to note a recent investment by a Bangladesh BPO company, Telsu Incorporated, valued at around $3.9 million. Meanwhile, Liwayway Corporation began operating in Gazipur in 2019 by promoting Filipino-made products to the Bangladeshi market. I hope that this upward trend in our trade and investment relations will continue, and that the full potential of our economic partnership will be realized in the next few years. There are still many business opportunities to explore in areas such as telecommunications, IT, agriculture, and the health sectors, just to name a few. However, the strength of our relations cannot be measured by the number of agreements or trade and investment figures alone. The Philippines and Bangladesh, both among the most vulnerable countries to climate change, have shown time and again how important our friendship is, especially in times of disasters. This includes our support to Bangladesh in its rehabilitation program for victims of the cyclone Sidir in 2007, and Bangladesh's general donation and the deployment of a naval ship and medical team to help those displaced by Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. Our two countries displayed the same compassion during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic when we worked together to repatriate our nationals who lost employment due to lockdowns and other restrictions. Our Golden Jubilee marks a new era in our relations. The Philippines and Bangladesh must further fortify ties to address not only current challenges, including climate change, the recent pandemic, and geopolitical developments, but also emerging ones. President Ferdinand R. Marcos outlined the Philippine government's priority areas for the next 6 years, namely agriculture and food security, health and information, and communications technology. I note that the government of Bangladesh will soon hold its general elections in 2023. Rest assured that the Philippines will continue to work with Bangladesh's leaders in strengthening our cooperation in areas of mutual concern for the benefit of both our peoples. Furthermore, Bangladesh will also soon be marking another milestone in its history as it sets to graduate from least developed country status in November 2026. This is a testament to the growth and resilience of Bangladesh and will surely open doors for greater engagement and opportunities. The Philippines will remain a reliable partner of Bangladesh and continue to cooperate on our mutual goals for development and prosperity for our nations. The last 50 years have indeed been challenging, but also presented opportunities for cooperation. As we look forward to the next 50 years, I hope that we will continue to strengthen our bilateral relations, building on the accomplishments of the past and investing in the future of our young people. Let us work together for the promotion of peace and stability, not just between our two countries, but also in the broader international community. Once again, I offer my warmest congratulations to our governments and peoples on the 50th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. Donabad and Mabuhay.
Distinguished guest, may I now have the honor to request His Excellency F.M. Burhanuddin, Bangladesh Ambassador to the Philippines, to kindly deliver his remarks.
His Excellency, Most Reverend Charles John Brown, Apostolic Nuncio and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Fidel R. Nemenjo, Chancellor, Diliman Campus, University of the Philippines, Mr. Henrelito A. Sevilla, Dean, Asian Center, University of the Philippines, Ms. Maria Ana Lilia D. Vera Sinaji, Deputy Assistant Secretary, Department of Foreign Affairs of the Philippines, professors, students, and another speaker from Dhaka, Mr. M.D. Nazgul Huda, who will be joining over Zoom, Director General, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bangladesh. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to all of you for your gracious participation in today's seminar. This year is the year of the Golden Jubilee of diplomatic relations between Bangladesh and the Philippines. Bangladesh Embassy in Manila has taken series of programs to celebrate the 50th anniversary of our bondage. Today's seminar is a part of that program. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we liberated our country in 1971 at the cost of 3 million lives and 200,000 sisters and mothers' self-sacrifices. Today, I recall with profound tribute to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, whose unprecedented charismatic leadership and lifelong struggle paved the way for achieving our long-cherished independence. I also pay homage to the memories of the martyrs of the Liberation War and recall with gratitude the contributions made by our valiant freedom fighters. Distinguished participants, since our independence, Bangladesh is committed to consolidate democracy, eradicate poverty, and attain sustainable development and better life for our people. Bangladesh is also committed to working closely with our friends in the international arena to promote peace and stability across the globe. In this connection, I would like to mention that Bangladesh is the second largest contributor of peacekeeping forces around the globe. The government of Bangladesh, under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has been achieving an unimpeded and envious economic growth. With the implementation of Vision 2021, Bangladesh achieved the status of a lower middle income country in 2015 and will graduate from LDC in 2026. Bangladesh is expected to turn into an upper middle income country by 2031 and a developed nation by 2041 through implementation of Vision 2041. Ladies and gentlemen, Bangladesh has achieved remarkable progress in the field of agriculture, education, health, communication, human resources, particularly on women in empowerment in last 50 years. We have also attained tangible advancement in the corporate sectors, which includes ready-made garments, pharmaceuticals, ceramics, shipbuilding, information technology, glass fiber industry, processed food, banking and finance, etc. Bangladesh is one of the fastest growing economies in South Asia, according to IMF, Bangladesh is now the 43rd largest economy in terms of normal GDP and the 32nd largest economy in terms of PPP. Bangladesh is a profitable investment destination for the next 5, 10, 20, and 40 years. Bangladesh has also been identified as one of the next 10 economies in the world. The PwC projects that Bangladesh will be the 28th largest economy by 2030 and the 23rd largest by 2050. Distinguished guests, let me tell you that the average GDP growth in the last decade was over 6%. The GDP growth for the financial year 2018-19 set a new record of 8.1%. The COVID-19 induced pushback has lowered the GDP growth rate to 6.2% in the financial year 2020-2021. The growth highlights the fact that Bangladesh is one of the top performing economies in the world, even at the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic. At the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic, the government of Bangladesh announced incentive and stimulus package totaling $22.1 billion. While saying this, let me share with you some comparative figures of development indicators in last 50 years. Our current GDP is more than $320 billion. Per capita income is $2,800. Exports exceeded $50 billion and imports increased to $70 billion. Foreign remittance is 24 billion per annum. Electricity production capacity increased to 25,000 megawatts. Life expectancy increased to 73 years. Agricultural production increased to 5 tons per hectare. Moreover, Bangladesh has taken in hand several mega projects, which includes bridge, railway, metro rail, deep sea port, thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, LNG terminal, and tunnel. Distinguished guests, Bangladesh enjoys excellent bilateral relations with the Philippines based on many commonalities and mutual respect. Over the years, the two countries have played a responsible and contributory role as members of the Committee of Nations in various areas of international cooperation, including the UN. We attach great importance to the Philippines for their recognition of Bangladesh as an independent country, as one of the first Southeast Asian countries. On the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of our diplomatic relations, the former president of the Philippines, His Excellency Mr. Rodrigo Roa Duterte, and the Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, have simultaneously issued messages on felicitations in February this year. Dear participants, now is the time to review our bilateral cooperation in last 50 years. What we have achieved and what could be achieved should demand an objective assessment today. Based on the assessment, we can make our future plan of action. Although we have made significant achievements from our bilateral cooperation, but there is no reason to be complacent with that. We have to make robust and exponential progress. Let us have a look at our achievements so far. Number one, since the establishment of our diplomatic relations, Bangladesh and the Philippines have been enjoying mutual supports at the international fora. We have issues of common interests at international forum, which includes climate change and migration. Both the countries have been playing concerted role at the World Forum on these issues. Number two, we have signed 20 agreements between our two countries in last 50 years, and 9 draft MOUs are under consideration for both countries. Number three, 2 state visits took place in last 50 years after the visit of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, to the Philippines in 1973. Number 4, the volume of two-way trade has reached to $210 million. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also some challenges to take forward our mutual cooperation. Being developing countries, there might be a sense of competition between the two countries in some sectors. If we complement each other without being competitive, I believe both the countries can equally benefit from the common sources. Another challenge is our people-to-people contact has not yet grown as it was expected. One of the many reasons may be lack of connectivity. There is no direct air or maritime connectivity between the two countries. The more we engage, the more we open new avenues of cooperation. Another challenge is the Philippines is a member of ASEAN Pact. There are many issues in bilateral cooperation which need to be considered within the ASEAN framework. Bangladesh's submission for sectoral dialogue partnership to the ASEAN is under consideration of the member states. Once it is completed, Bangladesh's bilateral relation with the ASEAN states will get a new momentum. We hope the ASEAN member state will consider it positively. People of the two countries are not well acquainted with each other. This is another challenge. To know each other is an essential element in cementing bilateral relation. In order to overcome the situation, interaction among the peoples needs to be increased. To achieve that end, we need to organize familiarization programs, which may include exchange of cultural team, exchange of media people, exchange of academicians. Moreover, government level engagements should effectively be increased. Ladies and gentlemen, despite all these challenges, we have a lot of potentials where we can extract common benefits. Despite the challenges, we have many potential areas of cooperation between us. Agriculture, technology, education, pharmaceuticals, migration, climate change, and tourism may be the priority areas of future bilateral cooperation. On the other hand, we have a common market of 270 million people. Bangladesh has a market of 170 million people, and the Philippines has a market of 110 million people. So we have all the prospect of harnessing highest profit from this huge consumer market. Dear participants, now the question is, how can we realize our future goals? Let me share some ideas. Number one, exchange of high-level visits at government and private level may be of primary focus. Number two, existing agreements, MOUs between the two countries need to be revisited and take necessary steps to implement the provisions of the instruments. Number three, sectoral joint working groups may be formed, which will make future work plan in their respective areas on short-term, mid-term, and long-term basis. Number four, joint study on prospective consumers items for the common market may be made. Number five, identification of prospective sectors for joint investments between the two countries. Number six, business leaders of the two countries should enhance engagement to realize bilateral investment and business target. And last not the least, business council, a business council may be formed to facilitate bilateral trade between the two countries. Finally, I thank the Asian Center, particularly Professor Henrietta A. Sevilla, for his sincere cooperation to organize this seminar. I would like to thank the speakers for their time to join the seminar. I take this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to the Apostolic Nuncio, Charles John Brown, and members of diplomatic corps and international organizations for their kind presence today. Allow me to thank the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor for their supports. Also thank all the participants, including professors, students of this university, for their gracious presence in the seminar. Thank you all. Long live Bangladesh-Philippines relations.
Thank you, Excellency, for your kind remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now call Ms. Maria Ana Lilia de Vera Sinachi, Acting Head of the Office of Asian and Pacific Affairs, Department of Foreign Affairs, Manila, to kindly deliver her remarks.
His Excellency Burhanuddin, Ambassador of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Dr. Henelito A. Sevilla Jr., Dean of the Asian Center, University of the Philippines, friends from the private sector and the academe, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. At the outset, on behalf of our Assistant Secretary, Nathaniel G. Imperial of the Office of Asian and Pacific Affairs, I wish to express my appreciation to Ambassador Udin and Dean Sevilla for the invitation to speak in this seminar celebrating 50 years of diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Bangladesh. While we formally established our diplomatic ties half a century ago, contact between our countries had been recorded hundreds of years earlier through maritime trade between South Asia and Southeast Asia. Moreover, according to Visayan oral folklore, when Bangladesh was under the ancient Chola dynasty, a minor half Malay and half Tamil Cholan prince named Sri Lumay traveled to the Philippines and established the Rajanate in Cebu around 1400. Subsequently, the Philippines and Bangladesh both fell under the colonial rule of various external forces. Nonetheless, we continued to strive for our freedom and independence, and both Filipinos and Bangladeshis were inspired to rise up through action and literature. For us, it was the seminal novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo of our national hero, Jose Rizal, which exposed the oppression by the Spanish. And for Bangladesh, the Bengali language movement in 1952, which sought the recognition of Bengali as an official language and served as a catalyst for national identity and nationalism. Such parallelisms in our respective histories allowed our two countries to naturally gravitate towards one another in the years that followed. When Bangladesh gained independence in 1971, the Philippines was one of the first countries in the world to recognize its sovereignty and independence. Diplomatic relations between our two countries were later cemented in 1972. The Philippines also actively supported the membership of Bangladesh to the United Nations, and this was achieved in 1974. We have cultivated our bilateral relations through the years, and we have certainly reaped the benefits of our continuing cooperation. We have concluded and signed bilateral agreements in various fields, including trade, investment protection, economic and technical cooperation, merchant shipping, air services, taxation, sports, culture, and the establishment of foreign policy consultations. As mentioned by our secretary earlier, bilateral trade has been on an upward trend in the last 5 years, surging by 46% from $71.9 million in 2020 to $104.9 million in 2021, surpassing the pre-pandemic level of $75.1 in 2019. In other areas of cooperation, the Philippines provided support to Bangladesh for the rehabilitation program for victims of Cyclone Sidir in 2007. Meanwhile, we will never forget the generosity of Bangladesh in the wake of Typhoon Yolanda in 2013, when the Bangladeshi government sent donations and deployed a naval ship and medical team to assist Filipinos displaced following the disaster. We also worked together in providing assistance and repatriating our respective nationals who were severely affected by the COVID-19 lockdowns. As we move on from the pandemic and focus on recovery and encouraging growth, we now have new opportunities for cooperation, specifically in our health and agricultural sectors. Ramping up cooperation in these sectors could assist in mitigating the impact of such challenges in the future. The 50th anniversary has presented us with this opportunity to consider these new areas of cooperation further and explore other areas that would benefit our peoples. Ambassador, you may remember in your meetings with the President and the Secretary for Foreign Affairs, there were discussions on partnerships in agricultural development, pharmaceuticals, and trade. We also hope to continue these constructive discussions during the third meeting of our foreign policy consultations, which we hope to host very soon. In recent years, Bangladesh has made remarkable economic and social progress. I therefore take this opportunity to congratulate Bangladesh on its graduation from least developed country status in 2026. We are optimistic that this will further open doors for Bangladesh as well as its partner countries, including the Philippines, in making the most of increased economic and business opportunities. As we continue to celebrate our 50th anniversary year, I know that there is still great potential for further engagements and cooperation between our two countries. I wish to assure the Bangladeshi government and its people that the Philippines will continue to be a partner in promoting peace, stability, and prosperity between our countries and in the international community. Once again, I express my appreciation to the Embassy of Bangladesh and the Asian Center for their invitation to this seminar. And congratulations to both our countries on this milestone Golden Jubilee year of our diplomatic relations. Salamat and Dhonobad.
Thank you, ma'am, for your very kind remarks. Distinguished guest, we were expecting our colleague from Dhaka to join us here through Zoom, but I think due to some technical problems, we are not getting him now. So I would like to humbly request you all to watch a 5-minute documentary on beautiful Bangladesh.
Glide in the vibe of life. A land of love, let's wander. Embellished with hundreds of streams. Season sings in 6 tunes, dances in 6 rhythms. It's a bondage of soil and soul. Every day is a celebration with the design of affection. Earth plays here in the heart and mind, holding the golden heritage. Discern the passion of treasure and tradition. Endless endurement in the world's longest sea beach. Step into the ocean of love. Discover the dreamland. Explore the diversity. Hospitality, truly inherited. Cosmos of clouds clasping the hills. Unfold the vibration in the folds of the hill tracts. Splendid rhythm, seducing, mesmerizing landscape, melody of mind, devotion of diverse lifestyle. Ethnic taste with ultimate intimacy. Fantasy of flora and fauna deep inside the fascinating forest. Breathe in the beat of history. Lots of ancients have hundreds of stories. Feel the world of color, culture, and concord. Festivals, secret of social harmony. Abundance of happiness round the year. Expression of love everywhere that will bring you back here again and again. Bangladesh, full of love. Anything more? Welcome to beautiful Bangladesh, a land of love.
Distinguished guests, may I now have the honor to request Dr. Henelito Sevilla Jr., Dean, Asian Center, University of the Philippines, to kindly present the keynote speech on today's topic.
Excellencies, the Honorable Secretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Enrique Manalo, as well as the Honorable Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Bangladesh, Dr. Abdul Momin, Ambassador Burhanuddin, Embassy of the People's Republic of Bangladesh in the Philippines, the Deputy Assistant Secretary, Maria Ana Lilia de Vera Skinazi, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Charles Brown of the Apostolic Nuncio, the Vice Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Dr. Tess Payungayong, friends, faculty, and staff, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is truly an honor for us here at the Asian Center, University of the Philippines, Diliman, to jointly host with the Bangladesh Embassy in Manila the 50th year celebration of the diplomatic relations between the Republic of the Philippines and the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Just a disclaimer, I am not an expert of South Asia, nor an expert of Philippine-Bangladesh relations. I am an expert probably of international relations and Middle East. What I'm trying to drive out here is I just hope that I could just give justice to the request of the Excellency Ambassador Burhanuddin to provide you a keynote for the 50th year of diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Bangladesh. Anyways, in celebrating the 50th year of diplomatic ties, it is only proper to look at the achievements, identify the challenges and potentials where these two democratic countries have achieved over the past decades. It is also good to contemplate and ask how to move forward and into which direction should the two countries take in the coming years. Throughout the history of the bilateral relations, the Philippines and Bangladesh have worked diligently in order to achieve a significant level of economic, trade, cultural, and political relations. As the two countries are situated in South and Southeast Asia, the Philippines and Bangladesh shared few attributes that may be common between and among themselves, and which can be a good starting points in understanding the current and the future state of the relationships. The former speaker talked about parallelism of the bilateral relations between the Philippines and Bangladesh. And today, my focus will be to look into the common attributes in which these countries have been having, as well as how commonalities in the relationships can be capitalized to further the already strong ties between the Bangladesh and the Philippines. And so in doing so, I have categorized my presentation into 6 sub-themes. The first one is on the issue of where both countries experience colonialism or imperialism. It has been noted on the 24th February 1972, as mentioned by previous speakers, that the Philippines is one of the first few countries in Southeast Asia that have recognized the independence of Bangladesh. The Philippines was also among the first countries that had strongly voiced out its support in favor for the recognition of Bangladesh and membership of that country at the United Nations General Assembly. Like the Philippines, Bangladesh has also had this long history of colonial rule. Although the bloody war of 1971 has made Bangladesh achieve its independence from East Pakistan, its religious, cultural, and linguistic roots can be traced back from the time immemorial. Hence, it is probably safe to assume that even before the 1972 independence of Bangladesh, the country has already had a unique attribute of a nation. The pre-independent, however, had rendered the country difficult to exercising its right to self-determination, as it was still part of the greater political management of India and later of East Pakistan. All these territories were part of the British imperial control and management during the time. In 1947 partition, which led to the separation of East Pakistan from India, it may be based on religion, while the 1971 partition of Bangladesh from East Pakistan was mainly based on language. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hence, the ideology that emerged in the 1970s and which was popularized by the former Bangladeshi president, Ziaur Rahman, was based mainly on ethno-linguistic nationalism. Ladies and gentlemen, like Bangladesh, the Philippines has also experienced this type of colonialization from the West, Western countries in particular. It began with the official entry of the Spanish colonizers in the country in 1521 and lasted for 333 years, and eventually succeeded by the Americans in 1898, who managed the country within 48 years until the 1946 declaration of the Philippine independence from the American rule. The relevance of comparing the two countries' historical experiences from colonialism and imperialism is based on an important inquiry about how the Philippines and Bangladesh organized themselves to create a modern nation state. Many authors who wrote about the history of Bangladesh and the Philippines had commonly pointed out to Benedict Anderson's theory on imagined community, which to me help explain how the Philippines and Bangladesh are able to conduct their national identity, to form their national identity under the so-called modern nation state system. The Philippines and Bangladesh both work hard to unify the country from the colonial past. The second parallelism or commonality in Philippine-Bangladesh relations, or perhaps, is that I would like to look upon is in the area of political cooperation. The two countries may have pursued different paths in terms of different ways, no? But we have definitely shared similar political ideology and values, and that is democracy, although two different versions of democracy. Bangladesh has parliamentary democracy, which is modeled after the British. Maybe it's wrong. I don't know, Ambassador, is it correct? While the Philippines followed a kind of a representative democracy modeled after the United States. Both have enjoyed certain level of democratic freedom, and both have demonstrated the vigor to determine a better future for the nations and countries under these democratic adherences. Recognizing their common love to democratic values and self-determination as two equal sovereign nations, the Philippines and Bangladesh opened their respective embassies in Dhaka in 1981 and in Manila in 1982. Prior to this, as mentioned by the ambassador, there have been exchanges of visits between the heads of states. And were in fact, in 1973, the father of the nation, Bangga Bandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, had stopped over in Manila from Tokyo to express gratitude to the Filipino people in their support to the independence of Bangladesh. In similar manner, in 1997 and 2004, Bangladesh Prime Minister had visited Manila, and in reciprocation of this, in 1997, the Philippine former President Fidel Valdez Ramos made visit to Bangladesh. Now, in order to share experiences between these two democracies in South and South Asia, a parliamentary friendship group was created to further cooperation and exchange between the members of the respective legislatures or parliaments in 2017. I personally believe that this legislative or inter-parliamentary friendship group that has been formed in 2017 can somehow contribute to the strengthening of political relationship between the Bangladesh government and the Filipino government. The third item that I want to discuss is about the importance of overseas remittances and the importance of that it has contributed to the national economy as well as the economic growth that have been experienced by both countries. The Philippines has an estimated population of 110 million people, and an estimated of around 10% are working and residing overseas. In the same manner that Bangladesh, in 2022 data provided by various sources, would give us an estimate of 168 to 169 million population. Given the bulk of this population from both sides, of course, it is easily assumed that both countries possess massive human resources. It is very interesting, therefore, to note that compared to the Philippine case, Bangladesh, or about 10 million of 10% of its population is also working overseas, particularly from the Middle East and North African region. The overseas Bangladesh workers, on the other hand, is the second source of the country's remittance, second only to garment industry. Record shows from the Bureau of Manpower Employment and Training data that in the year 2021 alone, an estimated of about 22 billion US dollar was remitted to Bangladesh from these Bangladesh overseas workers. And the country sits to target 1 million Bangladeshi workers in the year 2022. Almost the same in the case of the Philippines. Whereas record from the OFW remittances suggested that the Philippines received about 34.88 billion US dollar in 2021, a 5.1% higher from the previous years, which was 33.19%. Now, the data presented above showed how overseas remittances in both countries are critical to making the economies afloat. The initiative from both sides to attract foreign investment and invest in various sectors of their economies are also worthy to note. And both countries have followed an export-led growth strategy designed to decrease reliance from a single source of income by maximizing gains out from liberal economic system. Report from the Philippine Statistic Authority, as cited in the Department of Trade and Industry, showed that the country's top export product is electronic, which comprise about 61.3% share from the total export. This followed by medical and industrial products, consumer electronics, office equipments, semiconductors, among others. Whereas Bangladesh's top export products is a ready-made garment, which comprises of about 83.4% of the total export products. I myself, I'm always buying Bangladeshi t-shirts. They are very good quality, right? They're very good quality. Now, according to the report from Statista, the export value of ready-made garment sector in Bangladesh amounted to approximately 31.46 billion, a singular or a significant increase from the last year value of about 28 billion. In addition, Bangladesh pharmaceutical industry, and I think this was mentioned by the ambassador and other speaker, that the Bangladesh pharmaceutical industry is also gaining in national self-sufficiency, in which, according to the report, 97% of these products are supplied domestically, while the remaining percentage is exported to over 160 countries. Recently, Bangladesh expressed its readiness to enter into partnership with the Philippine government in agriculture sector, particularly on products such as banana, pineapple, but also in agricultural development management. Now, if you look at in 2021, the data, Philippine-Bangladesh bilateral trade amounted to 110 million, which already surpassed the 75 million two-way trade value before the pandemic. The third area in which I want to look into is in the area of security cooperation, as well as training and other activities being done by the armed forces of the Philippines and the armed forces of Bangladesh. In the area of defense cooperation, the two countries, recognizing common security challenges such as terrorism and insurgency, have entered into several security cooperation and initiatives. Highlighted in this cooperation are in the area of academic, national security, development, and strategic studies. Bangladesh regularly sent officers to the Philippines to study at the National Defense College in the country. And in reciprocation of this, the Bangladesh Armed Forces has also offered the Philippine Army officers around more than 10 in scholarship to study and do research in Bangladesh. Another area is in the non-political aspect of the relationship. In the non-security and non-political areas, the two countries also enjoyed bilateral cooperation, particularly in the areas of humanitarian assistance. And I think the Assistant Undersecretary a while ago made mention about the help of Bangladesh to the victims of Typhoon Yolanda way back in 2013. And in a similar manner, the Philippines also helped Bangladesh during a particular natural calamity that happened in that country. In the area of culture and sports, the peoples of both sides also actively cooperated. Filipino artists and dance troupe, I think Dr. Santa Maria is here, participated in Dhaka International Film Festival, in Asian Art of Dhaka Art Summit, and in 2018, in the 16th Dhaka International Film Festival, where a Filipino artist, Alin Dizon, won the award for the best actor. In addition, both countries also forged cultural exchange program between their ministers. Now, the last item of the similarities that I want to tackle is in the area of humanitarian responsibility to the global community. Now, finally, and another common area in which the two countries are actively engaged in is in the field of international humanitarian assistance, particularly on the service and their commitment they have extended to the refugees, Since the time immemorial and throughout the Cold War, the Philippines has been a friendly country to those who seek protection due to security and political persecution in their countries of origin. In the article written by Lauris Panamanta on 7 June 1917, and this article actually appeared in the website of the United Nations Commissions on Human Rights, mentioned 9 waves of refugees in the Philippines. The first wave of it goes back to the end of the First World War, where the White Russians were fleeing from the Red Russians in the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution in that particular area of Europe and Asia. And this was followed by the Jewish refugees who were fleeing from the Nazis' persecution during the Second World War. After this wave, another waves like the Spanish, the Chinese, the White Russians, the Vietnamese boat people, Iranians, Indo-Chinese, East Timorese, among others, came to the Philippines to seek refuge, and the Philippines provided them that kind of protection. And recently, as you heard from the news, the Philippine government also received some of these refugees from Afghanistan and probably from Syria. Now, in a similar manner, Bangladesh has also been very much committed in protecting these international refugees. At the height of the 2021 takeover of the military junta in Myanmar in the government, a displacement and massive humanitarian crisis was experienced in that country, particularly in the province of Rakhine, where millions of Rohingyans were affected. The crisis resulted into over 1 million Rohingyan refugees fleeing to Bangladesh, where out from these 1 million Rohingyans, almost or an estimated of 88% of them are children below age of 18. With this, I would like to thank the Bangladesh government for hosting the bulk of the Rohingya refugees, and thank you very much, Bangladesh. Can we give them a round of applause? But the dire situation of this Rohingya people inside the refugees or refugee camps would, however, require a concerted effort from the members of the international community to extend donation and help resolve this humanitarian crisis. The Philippines and Bangladesh, therefore, can consult each other and share the best experiences they have in handling the refugee crisis. Maybe both at the bilateral level of their cooperation or in an international or multilateral channels. Now, to conclude my speech, in conclusion, one may contemplate on this assumption that despite the above mentioned parallelism or commonalities and the improving or strengthening relations, bilateral relation in that case, between the two countries, the peoples from both sides are still not so familiar from each other. I think the ambassador made mention about how we can further this relationship, and he made mention about the importance of people-to-people cooperation, track 2, track 3 diplomacy, as a very, very vital and crucial towards improving relationship between and among countries. It is within this assumption, therefore, that this paper wants to emphasize the importance of mobilizing, capitalizing, and on harnessing human potentials available in both countries. The familiarity of each other's culture, history, experiences, among others, is an important element of a non-material and non-political bilateral relations, and it should be expanded in the coming years to come. Our limited familiarity of each other's should be the basis or should be one of the important elements of our future collaboration and initiatives. Our drive towards improving ties should give way towards harnessing human potentials available in both sides. Now, although we believe that the power of the government to improve these ties, other channels may also be utilized to further strengthen these bilateral relations between the Philippines and Bangladesh, so that in the future, the people from both sides would be able to recognize and would be able to foster that collaboration between and among themselves. Now, in conclusion, kala nyo tapos na yung conclusion ko, no? I would like to provide some modest recommendations to the ambassador. Sorry. Number one is there is a need to harness available human resources, such as the presence of the diasporic communities that are present in both countries, in the Philippines, the Bangladesh in the Philippines, and the Filipinos in Bangladesh. Both governments can tap them and make them as a relevant and crucial element in promoting this relationship in the future. The second is improving academic and cultural collaboration between universities in the Philippines, and scholars and like-minded individuals shall be given attention to facilitate exchanges of ideas, experiences, and talents. Third, approaching, and I think the ambassador mentioned this also, approaching and partnering with institutions or universities that offer studies of Asia, like the Asian Center of the University of the Philippines. Memorandum of agreement signing, the Vice Chancellor has just mentioned this. Perhaps we can explore this area of academic collaboration between Dhaka University or any universities in your country and the University of the Philippines to move forward, look to further this kind of people-to-people collaboration. Joint conferences, fora, and research initiatives should be given importance. Number 4, engaging more the business communities present in both countries and regularly consulting them how governments, the Philippines and Bangladesh, will be able or can provide avenue of opportunities to improve two-way business and trade relations. And number 5 is facilitating coordination between and among civil society groups such as women, religion, youth, media in both countries. And finally, engaging regularly national media to promote Philippines in Bangladesh and to promote Bangladesh in the Philippines. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Professor Sevilla, for your very well explained speech, though Professor claimed that he is not an expert in South Asia, Bangladesh and the Philippines, and he has also mentioned the very timely recommendations, what we need to do to carry forward for these relationships. Thank you very much. Dear guests, now the floor is open for any query or questions or observations. Now I would like to request our today's speaker to kindly grace the occasion for this session. I would like to request His Excellency Ambassador Burhanuddin to kindly come on the stage with our today's speaker. And I would like to request our participants here, if you have any question or any feedback or any observation on our today's seminar, you may kindly put your questions and feedbacks. And also our participants in online, you can also put your questions in the chat box. If anyone have any questions, our colleagues will help you with the microphone, so you can ask any question. And you can at first raise your hand, and you can then tell your name, and then you can ask the questions, please.
What I can ask them? Can I ask question to the audience, moderator?
Yes, surely, sir. The floor is open for everyone, sir. So anyone can ask any questions, sir.
Hello, good morning. I am Dr. Aviso from the University of the Philippines. An alumni here. I would like to ask regarding the peace and conflict of Bangladesh in relation to the economic status that they already have. Does it have any effect, or is there any direct relation with the peace and conflict with the economic status that Bangladesh has as of the moment? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. I will try to answer to your question, and the other two speakers are also with me. They will also can supplement to my answer. You see, for any development, whatever it is, it may be economic, it may be social, it may be cultural. Stability is the prerequisite for any development. So I think your question is how to reconcile conflict and economic development. So I should say that yes, there should not be any conflict if you want to achieve optimum development in all sectors. My answer will be very brief. If they want to supplement, they can supplement it.
Any question? Yeah.
Good morning to everyone. This is Fakhru Zaman. I'm working in a microfinance institution here in the Philippines. My question is to the Ambassador of Bangladesh and His Excellencies FM Burhanuddin and also Sir Hanaletu, the Dean of Asia. Although it was included in their presentation about the reciprocal agreement. My daughter was studying here last 10 years, since elementary to the graduation. But due to lack of reciprocal agreement between two countries, she was not able to approach some courses here in the Philippines. Now it's forced out to from the Philippines to the other countries to finish her education. I think both countries should consider it because there are many African students rather than Bangladeshi students is coming here. It's very near. So both countries should work on it for the reciprocal agreement, especially for the education sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your observation. I think it is not a question, it is an observation. We have well noted it and we will work on it. I think since we are celebrating our 50 years of anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries, I will be happy to receive a question or observation regarding how to further develop our bilateral cooperation. If you have any suggestion, you can put that. That will be, I think, more relevant.
Any question?
Hello. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to understand the question you said. So you hope for more students from Bangladesh to study in the Philippines? Yes. So actually, it's also, there are a lot of issues involved, like the recognition of educational credentials. So it's important that the Department of Education or the Commission on Higher Education here coordinates with their counterparts in Bangladesh, because there's so many. I mean, I come from the Department of Foreign Affairs, but this is not something within our expertise to handle. So we need the help of the relevant agencies. And the request can either come from Bangladesh or it can also come here, I think, through the embassy here in Manila. And as I mentioned also earlier, we have our policy consultations with Bangladesh. I mean, everything has been put on hold due to the pandemic. But given the 50th anniversary and then the easing of travel restrictions, we hope to be able to organize the meeting, and perhaps this would be an agenda to consider. But yeah, it's important that the relevant agencies coordinate because we have several requirements before anyone can enroll in Philippine universities, and especially public universities. So it's different for private universities, but for public universities like the University of the Philippines, there should be some kind of a formal arrangement. Thank you.
If I may, just in addition to what the first and second speakers made mention, I think I'm not aware if there is an existing memorandum of agreement between the Department of Education in Bangladesh and the Philippines. And I asked the ambassador now and he said yes. So probably that is an area that we can really explore, and maybe we can have more consultation about this one so that the Bangladeshi diasporic community in the Philippines, they can send their children to Philippine schools, as you would mention that your daughter has not been able to enroll in one of the university because of the requirements, right? Is that correct?
I would like to supplement on this question also, that yes, we are going to make some sort of mechanism on it, on education. So it is there on card. I think as Madam said that because of the pandemic, we could not proceed in many sectors. As I have mentioned in my presentation also that we have 9 instruments under consideration. One is also on education, higher education. So I'm hoping that, as Madam also mentioned, that in next FOC, Foreign Office Consultation, third Foreign Office Consultation, which will be taking place in the Philippines in the early 2023, I hope. And during that meeting, this MOU agreement will be finalized and signed. And I think that will resolve all the issues you have in your mind.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank the people of Philippines. I have visited many countries for business, and I will surely say Philippines is one of the best as welcoming foreign people for business, for traveling, for everything. So actually my requests and suggestions to the embassy, we are into business in this country. So I think in my research, medicine, textile, especially from the Philippines, we can also export like beauty products, which has a high demand. So to the embassy, my request would be like, can we organize any seminar on the people from Bangladesh who wants to have business here and big business people who are exporter and importer to collaborate together so we can arrange a seminar in the future to have both business relationship. Thank you, sir.
We have been working on it. By this time, we have held 3 business seminars. One was held in Dusit Thani Hotel, and I have also held another 2 business seminar in Cebu and Davao City, and we are planning to organize some Zoom meeting between the business leaders of 2 countries so that they can chalk out. And you have heard that I have also mentioned in my recommendation that sectoral grouping, sector-wise grouping and identification of priority sectors of investment and items, which items will be preferable to the Philippines market from Bangladesh, and which items from Philippines will be preferable in Bangladesh markets. That needs to be sorted out. That needs to be listed. Otherwise, you see, you have thousands of items. You don't need to import or export all the items. You have to spot 4, 5, 6 items. For example, I can tell you that Philippines is mostly dependent on import medicines, and Bangladesh has huge pharmaceuticals industry. It is exporting its products to more than 160 countries all over the world, including North America and EU. So Philippines can choose to import bulk medicine from Bangladesh. Likewise, there are many items, say for example, coconut items. Bangladesh might be a very good market for coconut items from the Philippines. And I have also mentioned that we have a common market of 270 million people. Bangladesh has 170 million people. Philippines has 110 million people. Altogether, it is 270. So if you can market one item, you can earn a huge amount of foreign currencies from there. So it's a very good question. We are working. Our work is to matchmaking work we mainly do, the government sectors, and the private sector come forward and they do the mutual business. So we are working on it. Thank you.
There's another question from this gentleman.
Greetings. I'm Don McLean Gill, geopolitical analyst and director of South Asia for the Philippine Middle East Studies Association. Your Excellency, Ambassador Odinji, I thank you for you to grace your presence, to grace us all for this particular and special event. Dr. Henelito Sevilla Jr., Dean Asian Center, who I consider to be a significant mentor of myself, and our distinguished official from the Department of Foreign Affairs. Now, Ambassador, my question is that Bangladesh's contribution to the world is significant, development normatively, politically, and economically, and socially. Between South Asia and Southeast Asia, Bangladesh is a significant fulcrum and pillar for connectivity between two great regions. Now, my question, Ambassador, is since that you have outlined the requirements to boost Philippines-Bangladesh relations, could this be a possible model for Bangladesh's outreach to Southeast Asia? Thank you.
Yes, so we have, as I have mentioned, that we have already 20 instruments with the Philippines in different sectors. At the moment, I cannot refer to all the instruments, but in case of making agreements or MOUs with any country, more or less one country do the same thing with other countries. So we have at the moment, I can remember that we have an agreement with the Philippines on promotion and protection of investment. So this model we follow with other countries also. And as regards to free trade agreement, open market agreement, That is, Bangladesh is very early stage we are running through. And we are trying to make first free trade agreement with Malaysia. We have incurred with some other countries. I think Philippines is not one of those countries to make a free trade agreement with. So as I mentioned in my presentation, that making cooperation in many sectors is a there is a bar of ASEAN. You know, the ASEAN member countries have a lot of bars, so they have to go through ASEAN channel. So this is why Bangladesh is trying to make sectoral dialogue partnerships with ASEAN, right? Like RCEP model, so that all the other 10 member countries can cooperate with Bangladesh easily. And I think you have got your answer to your question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. I would like to thank all the speakers. With these questions, we would like to complete our question answer sessions here. I'd like to thank our speakers for joining this session. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to mention that our Honorable Chancellor of Diliman campus, Honorable Fidel Nimenzo, has arrived here. So we would like to give a round of applause for him and welcome him here. Ladies and gentlemen, today's program is about to end. Before we end this program, may I request His Excellency the Ambassador to hand over a token of gratitude to Mr. Henilito Sevilla, Dean, Asian Center, University of the Philippines. I will now request His Excellency Ambassador to hand over a token of gratitude to Mr. Henilito Sevilla. I would also like to please join the program. May I request Ma'am Maria Ana to please grace the stage. Thank you so much.
May I also request the Chancellor, Dr. Fidel Nemenso, to hand over the token of appreciation in behalf of the University of the Philippines Asian Center to the Ambassador, Excellency Burhanuddin. We have another one here for Councilor Razaki.
You come and speak here. Take a picture.
And that ends our formal part of today's program. On behalf of Bangladesh Embassy in Manila, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the speakers for their valuable contribution to this seminar. My deepest gratitude goes to all who attended today's program and helped us to make it successful. My special thanks to the Asian Center, especially to the very active Dean and his very supportive team to take all the efforts to make this event successful. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the lunch is ready outside at the foyer. Please enjoy the authentic Bangladeshi cuisine and rest of the afternoon. Long live Bangladesh-Philippines friendship. Mabuhay, Joy Bangla.
In the vibe, a land of love, let's wander, embellished with hundreds of streams. Season sings in 6 tunes, dances in 6 rhythms. It's a bondage of soil and soul. Every day is a celebration with the design of affection. Art plays here in the heart and mind, holding the golden heritage. discern the passion of treasure and tradition. Endless endearment in the world's longest sea beach. Step into the ocean of love. Discover the dreamland. Explore the diversity. Hospitality truly inherited. Cosmos of clouds clasping the hills. Unfold the vibration in the folds of the hill tracts. Splendid rhythm, seducing, mesmerizing landscape, melody of mind, devotion of diverse lifestyle. Ethnic taste with ultimate intimacy. Fantasy of flora and fauna deep inside the fascinating forest. Breathe in the beat of history. Lots of ancients have hundreds of stories. Feel the world of color, culture, and concord. Festivals, secret of social harmony. Abundance of happiness round the year. Expression of love everywhere that will bring you back here again and again. Bangladesh, full of love. Anything more? Welcome to beautiful Bangladesh, a land of love.